Okay, so let's go ahead and put together our Halloween invitation freebie. I'm going to start with the actual envelope here, just because it's just quick and easy. Get the ball rolling here. What we want to do is just want to fold everything at the score marks. Okay, so this is the main part of the envelope. There's an underlay here that's going to go right underneath here, so that this part here, we've got the little black showing through. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to use little dots of glue surrounding the little cutout here, and then we're going to extend it out just a tiny little bit. The little black part is not as, it doesn't cover the entire back part here, as you'll see. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this and just kind of lining it up with that crease, and then folding this up and centering it, and then just pushing down to get that in place. Okay, so just push that down, let it get a grip, and then we're going to go ahead and fold the two side flaps in, fold the main flap up, and you can kind of get a visual as to where you need to place your glue. Just going to pop it right along the edge here. Okay, and just push and glue that down. Okay, so we have our envelope. I'm going to actually slip it underneath my mat here so that it dries nice and flat. And then the card itself goes together pretty quickly. We can go ahead and begin by putting this little overlay right at the top. Okay, and what we really want to do with this is we want to put glue on the main little rectangle. You have to kind of visualize the rectangle in that spot there, okay? And then just a little bit in this area here. You don't want to put any glue down here or up here because it's not going to adhere to anything. And you want to get that nice and lined up with that little flap there. Okay, get that nice and centered. Just push down, hold that down for just a few seconds until it dries. It's a really quick card. You can definitely mass produce these if you're doing like a Halloween party or something and you want to send out some invitations, or if you just want to send someone a cute Halloween card, this is the card for you. Okay, we've got a nice little panel that's going to go in here, and I'm going to put glue on this part here. Make sure you get it out to the edge, especially in these little detailed areas here. And then just a really, really thin line of glue on the inside. Now, if you are familiar with how to do a print and cut, you can take this element and do a print so that you can actually print your little message or your invitation details on this piece and then cut it out so it will already have it on there. Do your best to get that nice and centered on this part here. If you have a little bit of glue that kind of spilled over, you can just go ahead and just rub that clean and you'll be okay. All right, so that's in place, just like that. Looks great. Okay, so all that's left to do is to put our witch's face on. And this piece is pretty intricate and tiny, so I'm just using my little dot method. As you can see here, hopefully, yep, there you go. You can see I'm just putting little dots on here, just barely squeezing the glue bottle, and actually probably just squeeze to get a little bit on the tip, and then I'm just taking a little bit off of the tip with each little dab. Okay, so we're just going to place that right there, lining up the little chin portion of her face. Okay, and then we'll just get our little hands in place, and probably going to jazz this up with a few little purple rhinestones in the four corners of the front of the card and call it a day. And then we'll take our little just tiny little dots on these fingertips. You don't need a lot. It's a very, very small surface. And just match this up with the cutout, or with the shadow portion, I should say, the black part. Just get that on there nicely. Okay, and just repeat that with this little piece here, the other hand. So I'm just squeezing out a little bit of glue, and then I'm just taking it and just kind of just dabbing tiny little parts of that right on there. And occasionally I'll squeeze again to get a little bit of glue out to that tip, and then just lightly dab, and it gives me perfect little dots of glue each time. Just pushing out a little bit and then just lightly dabbing it, just like that. Get it nice and lined up with the shadow portion right there. And that looks good. If you get a little bit of glue that squeezes out, you can always go in and clean that up. And there's your little invitation. Actually looks really cool. And again, you can stamp something here. Oh, you know what? We forgot her little buckle. Let's get that glued into place here. Again, I'm just squeezing a little bit of glue out and just leaving tiny little dots on the back of this thing. You don't need a lot of glue. You don't want to make a mess. So you want to just kind of go easy on the glue, and the buckle is going to go right about there. Just like that. There we go. And our card is done. I've had my little envelope sitting under there, and it should fit perfectly in the little envelope. And voila, the card is all done.